So today is April 22nd, and I'm here with Jen Bruno Smith, and we have a lot to talk about. How are you, Jen?
Doing pretty well. How are you doing?
Pretty good. I'm excited. The title of this is going to be something along the lines of like booking during quarantine, TikTok, unemployment, PPP, just life in general, and sustaining business.
Yeah, we have a lot of really cool things to talk about today, so I'm excited to kind of get started.
So one big thing is everyone wants to know, are you still booking clients right now?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm averaging like one every other day. Full price retainer fees. I actually have 13 inquiries sitting in my active campaign right now that I need to get to after we're done with this podcast.
By the way, up until like a week or two ago, you were really bad at keeping track of that. So
I know.
now that you're like more into it, like how's everything going with that?
Yeah, it's going really well. Much like, so one of the learning styles that might come from an education background is being explicitly taught things. And so I'm very good once I am taught exactly what I need to do. So the other day you showed me exactly how I need to manage those inquiries in Active Campaign. And it really helped. I can't believe I haven't been doing it all this time. I haven't been, but now I have a flow to it. It's going really well. I'm not sure if you've checked in lately, but have you looked at it?
I have. I've been just kind of keeping tabs on it because I know anytime I'm working with somebody, if that stack starts getting really deep, it's like something is going wrong.
Right.
But the funny thing is you were booking so much before anyways, and that was like despite maybe not being like as meticulous, but now I think getting more meticulous is just leading to more bookings, right?
Oh yeah. And I would say probably 8 or 9 of those bookings are specifically because I was responding to those inquiries. And so of course, now that I'm like closing these people, I'm like, oh no, if I've probably missed out on so many bookings just because I wasn't as meticulous as I should have been with my follow up. So
Yeah. So, and I completely get that sentiment of like, hey, maybe having some missed bookings. But you were already kind of fully booked for the year anyways, right? Now you're just going to be doing a little bit more work just in case there's cancellations and stuff.
I'm going to be shooting like 5 days a week, probably starting June 2, because all of my shoots from the end of March, all of April, all of May, it's probably about 37 shoots I had to move into the second half of 2020. So now I'm actually filling in a little bit of December 2020, and I'm booking 2021 pretty solidly right now.
Okay. And by the way, before this, you had a pretty robust funnel, right? So you
Yeah.
had like, you rank really high in with Google Organic, you run Google Ads, you have some Facebook ads,
Right.
you have a really big email list, Facebook group, you do bridal shows. It's kind of like a lot of people know you for bridal shows, right?
Yeah. Right.
And recently you've added what?
TikTok.
TikTok. It took you a while.
Isn't that crazy? Yeah, I finally jumped on the TikTok bandwagon. I feel so funny even talking about it. Like I shouldn't be on there. I feel like it should be teenagers still, but it's not. There's so many people that are our ideal client that are on TikTok. It's crazy.
Yeah. And I know for the biggest thing, it's almost like, it's almost like one of those things with Instagram. Like right now, people might look at Instagram and say, well, it's already too late. I'm
Right.
never going to catch up. But TikTok, we're at that phase where like, a year or two from now, people are going to start feeling like that. But did you feel like that? And then how do you feel after you joined? Like, was that?
So as I've started getting more into this now, I've realized, so my VIP group, when there's like almost 14,000 women in it right now. And I started my VIP group before Facebook really started to like, stop our organic reach and stop the ability to add people in. And I was lucky I got in before that. And what I realized is this is the window right now for TikTok before they start, shutting that down and stopping organic reach on there too. So, I'm going to take as much advantage of it as I can. And what's happening is these people are filtering into my VIP group, into Instagram, and they're contacting me on Instagram. I think I've gotten maybe 150 new followers on Instagram in the last 3 days, 2 days.
That's really cool. And are you finding there like some of them are local? Like, how's that work? Because I
Yeah.
feel like TikTok's you get a lot of reach, but like, isn't it like every country? Like,
Yeah.
do that? It really allows you to localize.
Well, I'm using, so the hashtags matter, right? And I'm using hashtags for Philadelphia and Delaware. I'm located in Delaware, but Philly is my primary market. So I'm using those hashtags. So I am, localizing somewhat, but I'm getting inquiries from all over the country. And I booked someone from Richmond, Virginia yesterday, and I think I'm going to close someone from California today. So they'll fly
That's
in.
so, that's so funny for your website. I'm gonna have to go in there to the Dropbox and add TikTok to like where did you find me?
Yeah, because I did 9 phone consults yesterday and I booked two. And of those 9, I think probably 8 were from TikTok because I'm asking now.
Oh wow.
Insane. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's so crazy. And the funny thing is like this feeds. Somebody made the comment. We were talking with somebody, which we have a special announcement we're going to be making as well, but about all this with
Yeah.
TikTok. But she was saying something along the lines of like, it's not just TikTok itself. It's that like once they leave TikTok, like they're going into her sales funnel. So then
Right.
they're like stalking her. They're joining her email list, and like
Yes.
she's gotten a lot of inquiries from it.
Yeah. And I'm also like, even though my website is on my TikTok like bio, when people are asking questions, I'm responding to them and I'm putting my website in as many places as I can because that's my goal is to get them to my website so I can retarget them.
Like in the comments, you're saying
Yeah.
like, "Oh, that's cool."
Yeah.
I haven't noticed because I've only used it like in dad mode where I just watch like 4 things before I cringe out, and I'm just
Right.
like, "Yeah, let me get off this thing."
It's kind of
But
a black hole. Like you kind of get sucked into it, but
yeah, yeah, and it's funny because I like those resonate with me. The ones where it's like, "Hey, millennials trying to get on it," because I'm like, half of me is like, "Should I do some for this, or am I gonna look really silly? Would it work?"
so I've been trying a variety of things. Just almost like I always, when I talk to students that are joining us in the mastermind, I'm always like, I'm like our own research and development department because I'm trying all these things to see what is going to work and what gains traction. And in general, I feel like whenever you mix your personal life with your business and like you put a mesh of the two together, you're more approachable and more likable. So that's been like my strategy with TikTok as well is to put some like personal things and specifically reaching out to the people that would be my ideal clients. And I'm remembering that as well whenever I'm putting TikTok or when I'm hashtagging the videos.
Yeah, I see that. I guess one big thing is I always look at people's videos and I always wonder like how are they making all those crazy things? Like are they going to their computer and like putting it together on these crazy editors or like how does it
Yeah.
work? Just editing it on your phone and stuff?
I'm still learning. I will be the first to say I'm not a TikTok master, but there are some really cool functionality things that you can do. Like you can time how long you're letting words go on the screen, and you can like move the video to match the music. You can move the words around. It's kind of like Instagram in a way, like when you're doing your stories. But there is some really cool functionality, and the music is really cool too. There's a lot of really fun songs.
Yeah, me and Sandra were having a debate. We were wondering like are the songs on the top 100 right now popular because they're from TikTok or are they on TikTok because they're already popular? So I feel like there's like a bleed over where like underground songs that like no one would have ever heard of, like in the
Yeah.
house now, like the in the house now song. I don't know, like that
Yes,
had to come from social media, right?
absolutely. I actually think that TikTok is so much bigger than what anybody realizes yet. I feel like it's kind of like an iceberg, and we're just kind of seeing the tip. And there's this whole like underwater, like large part of the population because there's masses of people that are joining TikTok on a daily basis, and women that are not teenagers, that are mothers, that are potentially our ideal clients, because we have a lot of time on our hands. Like we have time right now. And, when my husband, when he first saw me joining TikTok, he's like, oh, no. And he made an account and then he deleted it because I was like, I just can't. This is so silly. And then he downloaded it again. And now he's kind of hooked because the stuff is so, it's kind of addicting, you know? Like these
Yeah.
little short videos, your attention span, people's attention span is so short. And that's the beauty of TikTok is they're very short clips that are super addicting.
Yeah, I will say the thing that is it's hard to see when you're like scrolling through the videos with like 10 million views and stuff. But when you look at people's feeds, like even the people that are super popular, like they'll have one video with like 2 million views and then all of the rest will have like a couple hundred or 1,000.
Yeah.
So like people are like just it's almost like they're just creating and then like I'm not going to say for no reason, but sometimes like some things will hit, some things won't, but like you really just need one or two of them to hit out of like 10 and you're doing pretty well.
I think that that is actually the key to these. I know we were talking about this before. What, you know, I asked you, like, what do you think? Like, how does it work? How does some things become viral and some things don't? And I just had literally my second day on TikTok. I put up a video and it's going viral. There's like 80,000, oh, almost 90,000 views at this point. And it's just flooding my, you know, it's flooding my feed. It's giving me a lot of inquiries and a lot of exposure. Why? But then, like the next day, I put up another video that was very similar. It was different, but very similar, and it maybe had like 3,000 views. So I honestly don't understand why some things take off and some things don't. But I was reading a little bit about the batch theory. Have you read about that? The batch theory.
No, what is that?
That so I guess no one really understands like how the algorithms of TikTok works, but apparently like they throw it out to a group of people and depending on how quickly they respond and the comments, how many comments it gets, then it goes out to like a bigger batch of people and then it just keeps like expounding on that.
Yeah, I think I'd heard that, but I feel like that's what Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook already do, right?
Right.
Like obviously it goes out to a certain amount of people. If it does really well with engagement and so on, like then
That's what it was
it
saying.
keeps rewarding you. Yeah.
Yeah. But how do you get it to become, I don't know. And then the other thing I've been seeing a lot is like people will ask for engagement on the words that they put on the video. So I've been trying to do that for some too, to see if there's a higher likelihood that something will become viral by asking for the engagement.
Yeah, it's so funny. I find myself like not using Instagram or TikTok that much, but even if I have both of them, I'm like more drawn towards TikTok. Like it's more exciting, I guess.
Yeah, it's definitely more engaging, I feel like, than Instagram. But I feel like Instagram is probably going to like Facebook. When I think of it now, I'm like, oh, you know, the younger generations aren't on Facebook. And then like Instagram is like not as old as me, but still, you know, that like the 30s maybe are all on Instagram. And I feel like TikTok is, you know, going to become more established and the older people are going to work their way down into TikTok just like they did with Instagram.
Yeah. By the way, this is not fair, right? We talked about everything else you had in your funnel, and now you're adding TikTok. Like, basically, going to become unstoppable.
What was funny is one of our students wrote me this morning and was like, one of her clients had wrote her and was like, I saw this video on TikTok and this is exactly how I felt when I did my reveal. And then she looked at it. It was Janet. And then she looked at it and she's like, that's actually my mentor. I know her. She just started TikTok like 4 days ago
That's
to
so
teach
funny.
us marketing. And then the client was like, well, it's working.
That is so funny. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's really cool. And
Yeah.
we're definitely going to have like a lot more data and info on it, but like so far, so good, right?
Yeah, it's definitely one, and it's free. It's free. Like this is free exposure, free. I mean, yeah, there was a time component, and I've been definitely like having to put time into it
Mhm.
to see what other people are doing. But yeah, like we haven't spent because you can't spend ad money, right? I was asking you about this too.
Yeah, they have like and I really hope they do open it up to ads, which I don't think someone needs to do. It's not like you need to master that immediately, but yeah, there's kind of like an application process. You have to like submit your information, your company, website, description of it. So I'm pretty sure maybe in the next couple months they'll be rolling it out. But yeah, as of right now, there's no like super quick sign up where you just put your credit card in and then you can pay for it. But
Right. Yeah, so we might as well all jump on the organic growth bandwagon while we can. Because once they start implementing the ads, that will probably be stopped a little bit, don't you think? Because then, they're going to want people to be paying for exposure.
Yeah. Yeah. And I feel like obviously that happened with Facebook and Instagram where like, back in the day, it was a lot easier to post. You could post things that went kind of viralish. And that's
Yeah.
kind of what TikTok is with its like infancy. And like right now, if there was like a wedding photographer that was trying to get big on like Instagram right now, like if you don't have like just the most amazing portfolio in the world, like you're going to be really disappointed with like your reach to start, unless you like really put some drive behind it or get featured in a bunch of places. But
Yeah. And I was thinking about this morning. Like, wedding photographers and portrait photographers, you should be getting on this TikTok bandwagon now,
yeah.
I'm sure because brides are going on there for inspiration too. Like I've had several brides call me just in the last day or two that saw me on TikToks, and especially now, like there's people have so much time. Now's the time we should be marketing like crazy.
Yeah. But speaking of which, so on to another one. Today is going to be a little bit of a random, going to touch some topics. Uh, I know for some people, some places are shut down. Some places are like reopening slowly. I think my state might be one of the next. But for some people, one of the biggest stressors so far, even though, by the way, I'm going to put this on the record. I think the United States has had one of the biggest and best like benefits packages. I know a lot of times people are comparing it to other countries, but like specifically, I didn't know this, but you know how Canada had that rumor that they were like giving $2,000 to every citizen?
Yeah.
Apparently, it's unemployment. And if you look at the US, the unemployment federally is $2,400 a month.
Okay.
The system's a little bit slow and clunky in the websites, but like they're going to backdate it. And then they're also giving out the stimulus checks, and then all the small businesses, hopefully, they're getting another round of the PPP funds.
Right.
So I will say that's encouraging, especially for people that maybe didn't have like that much savings and are kind of looking at that phase of their business. So for you, where have you been? Everybody knows you're extremely profitable. You probably have a lot of savings, but we're human too. So like, how's your process been? Do you feel like it's been super easy? Like, where are you with that?
So Randy's been doing the PPP stuff. I don't like doing stuff like that. It's just a little bit much with everything else. So Randy's been on top of that. I think he's filled out the applications. The studio is a little bit more complicated. There's just a lot going on, lots of different money coming in and out for the studio. So, and then of course, like our payroll we're not going to get as much money for the studio because my payroll, I'm getting paid not a lot, but then I get bonuses, right? Distributions. So my actual taxable income isn't as high. So it's not going to look like
Yeah.
I'm not going to get as much money. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, I don't want to cover this too much because I know it's been something that we've talked about a lot. But for anyone who's like still on the fence about it, like they are opening up funds again, and PayPal, Cabbage, and then small banks. I don't know if I think I told you this stat. I saw something like JP Morgan Chase got 60,000 applications in the first 5 minutes of opening. By the end of the 2 weeks, they didn't even get through half of those. So if you did not apply in those first 5 minutes, you were basically not going to see anything. And now that they reopen it, like there's still a big backlog. So if you have a small bank to go to, if you have, maybe an online option like PayPal, I would definitely suggest that.
Right. Yeah, I think that definitely the key would be to apply to as many places as possible, right? That way, in case you don't get it in one, you can get it in another.
Yeah. And so going back to bookings, I know we're going to cover one campaign that a lot of students in the mastermind have been running. And we kind of talked about here live in the Facebook group, but has there been any just kind of changes or any like nuances you've had to have to booking? Like, are you scheduling people? Are you charging them differently? What's the cancellation policy or rescheduling? Like, are you having to address that? And how's that going on the phone?
Yeah. So I'm actually charging a bit more to book people right now instead of less, which sounds kind of crazy. So normally when I do my phone consults, it's $349 full price retainer fee. If they book on the phone, I give them $100 off. Well, in the last 2 weeks, I've been booking so many people, I don't have barely any dates left. So I've only been doing $50 off. And so people are paying $299 for their retainer fee. So it's a small amount more, but I was like, well, if people are going to book, they're going to book anyway. I may as well make an extra $50. And that way they're still feeling like they're getting a little bit of a discount. But the retainer fees right now are my only income coming in. So yeah. Now I did play a little bit yesterday with offering half price retainer fees if they book in 2021 instead of 2020 to see if I could grab some more bookings for 2021, because at this point I have a lot of openings.
How do you feel that went?
So I did not book any doing that, but I only tried that with 2 people. So I have 13 inquiries sitting in active campaign right now. And once we get off this podcast, I'm going to go attack those and I'm going to keep trying that. So I'm going to try, I think maybe like, I think I'm going to try half price. I think I'm going to keep going with the 175. And if that doesn't work, I may even try some $99 retainer fees just to see.
Do you feel like, because I know sometimes like people have like a sense of urgency where they want to book. Like, do you feel like there's an urgency to like be one of the first in the door now? Or do you feel people are like still like almost like whimsical about it? Like, oh yeah, sometime in the future. Or do you feel like they do want to have it as soon as humanly possible when everything reopens?
So that's been part of my problem because I'm so booked. A lot of people are like, I'm ready to shoot like in June. And I'm like, sorry, like I'm booked until December. How about December 15th? So I don't think I've lost any because of that. But I think it's more just been changing their expectations because they're calling with the expectation that like, I have lots of time. But after we talk, I'm like, no, I really don't. And one of the strategies I use when I'm talking to people is I'm like, listen, I'm booked up because I'm good. I would be a little concerned if I called a photographer and they had no one on the books right now. Why is that? So that's one of the strategies I've been using and it's been working.
Like you're framing it in a positive way. Like I actually do.
Yeah.
I do think that too, right? Like if I was calling to book somebody for my daughter to have like a composite done or something like that, or like a fashion photographer to get her in magazines, if the person was like, yeah, tomorrow, I might be like, wait, what? But if they were like, look, I'm completely booked. If you book today, I know I can secure you for this spot. I actually, depending on the sense of urgency, I might actually want to book it to just confirm and not be even left out even more, right? Like have even more FOMO.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've been using it to my advantage, saying, I'm shooting that, and that's with shooting 4 to 5 women a week. And it's really more than like 5 women a week. So there's literally nowhere to put people. I'm sure some will drop off as I get closer to the months, which at this point, if they drop off, I'm going to be like, great, have a good day. See you later. Because I'm going to need a break.
Yeah, it's really cool though. Obviously within the mastermind, like there's all different levels of like problems, but you have like a even more unique set of problems, right? Where like, it's like, hey, I'm already booking, but now I'm having trouble like getting people to commit to a year later or putting it off for 8 months. So
yeah, it's, and of course it's a good problem to have. And of course, the solution that I would probably recommend to someone in my situation would be to hire a second photographer, but I don't really want to do that. I like controlling the brand and I like being the person providing the images. So I don't think I want to scale like that.
Yeah. Right, so other than that, I'm sure someone, because, people connect with you personally. What is something that's like changed during this time for you? Like what's a positive thing that's come out of this? Are you guys spending more time together? Are you doing things you didn't used to do? Like what's something positive that's come out of all this?
Well, I'm learning karate.
Are you learning that?
Fun. Yeah. My kids are in karate, so I've just been taking class with them at night.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah. They're doing
they put on like their gis and like belts and stuff.
Yeah. It's adorable. So yeah, I've been doing that. I've definitely had like more time to just be physically active, which is nice because usually like if I'm shooting every day and I'm in ordering appointments, like I don't have the time to like go just take a bike ride or go take a walk. And so that's been really nice to have that extra time. And we have been spending so much quality time together. So when this is all over, I'm going to take a vacation by myself.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll say for us too. We've definitely been riding bikes more. We actually ordered like an inflatable swimming pool.
Yeah.
And we put it outside and we just filled it up yesterday. So just like we're going to just do random things that we were maybe doing before, but maybe not at the same frequency. And then definitely the homeschooling aspect has been a little bit different, but it's actually worked pretty well. I think you told me when you guys started, it was a little bit of no direction from the state. I know for us, it was a little bit off, but now, they have their little schedule. They're on like the computer for like an hour a day, or, talking to their teacher and stuff, or different teachers. So it's actually kind of cool. And I never thought I'd see the day where like I'd have a 7-year-old sitting in my house, like typing things to her friends and stuff.
I never thought that we would be homeschooling our children. Like that just wasn't the, like our plan. And so, but it's been good. And what I realized is actually like my son who's in first grade is a lot stronger than I realized in some subjects, which has been nice to see, that he has a lot of potential there.
I think one thing too is like, and I used to think about this, like how much actual one-on-one time do teachers have with students, right? Like even if they split up all their time amongst like 25 kids, like they might get 7 minutes, like if it was ultra optimized of one-on-one, where, it might be inconvenient, but like at home, they can get 30 minutes, 45 minutes in the afternoon, in the morning, they can, so, there's a small benefit to that.
Yeah. And I'm sitting there with him doing the work with him to making sure he understands. My 2 younger ones, that's more what I'm struggling with is like making sure that they have enough academic stimulation.
But they're really young, right?
One's 4 and then Lincoln is 16 months, but like he's, you still need to give them stimulation. You know what I mean? So, and Jackson has been a lot of our focus because he actually has like schoolwork to do. So trying to make sure that like Scarlett is still learning letters.
It's funny because I saw a comedian that said like, you're not really, again, I don't believe this, but he basically said something along the lines of like, you're not really a parent unless you have more than one kid. And I didn't believe that. But one time I was like staying with some friends and like watching the kids just beat each other up and like whatever problems they would have individually, right? Like if my daughter has a problem, like having another kid with them there just like exponentially grows. You don't just have double the problems, you have all of their problems and then all the combination of problems between them.
Yes. So. It's so true. And so we found that, but then we've also found that we're trying to teach them to like play independently by them, like with each other and be able to like resolve their disputes. And yesterday we talked about negotiating. So there's been a lot of learning opportunities during this time that we would have had, but not as focused. Like, guess what? Like your brother is it. Like this is your play partner. So you're going to need to figure it out. Like I'm busy. I'm putting away groceries. Like go do something.
Well, I don't want to keep you. I know you got some consults to do. We do have a training tonight. It's the last one, the 4 of the series.
Yeah, right.
It's the last one tonight. It's at 7:30. I don't know if I have that link somewhere.
What are you going to talk about? Do you know?
Ooh, it's top secret. No, I'll be emailing it out. But if people have been on for the last 3, obviously Mastermind members can go in and see the replay. They're all uploaded to the portal. But if you want to make the last one, seats are limited. So the first one, pretty sure if you didn't get in on time. So just make sure you're registered. I'll drop the link in the description of this, the audio, the video, and obviously if you're in the group live.
Perfect. And there's no replays, right? So if you don't catch it live, if you're in the mastermind, you can see it again. But if not,
got to show up live.
Yep. That's
all right, Jen, go crush those sales calls or bookings and then talk to you later.
Sounds good. Good to see you. Bye, guys.